Hello, friends! Do you love to travel and learn about new places and things? Great! Then you are in the right place. Join Jasmine the cat and Gracie the tortoise as they have fun exploring the USA, the world, and beyond.
Hello, friends! It's Jasmine, the jazzy gray cat, here with my bestie Gracie, the super smart tortoise. Say hi, Gracie.
Greetings, my good friends. Gracie here. I'm so glad you joined us today as we learn more about Arctic animals who love this polar habitat.
Gracie, I'm so happy we decided to spend another episode talking about Arctic animals because I want to tell all about the polar bear.
Yes, polar bears are fascinating. Jasmine, did you know that parts of the Arctic are actually considered deserts because there's so little rain?
A desert? I thought deserts had to have sand.
You're right, we usually do associate sand with a desert, but it's not the land that makes the desert. It's the amount of rain that falls there.
Wow, you learn something every day. We also don't see a lot of trees here. That's because it's too cold and dry for them to grow. And even if a tree did manage to sprout, they don't get very big because there's no room for their roots. This is because just under the ground there's a layer of ice called permafrost. But the good news is that in these tundra areas, in the summertime, the soil on top of the permafrost thaws just enough to let grass, moss, and these beautiful bright yellow poppies bloom. These are called Arctic poppies, and when they bloom, the tundra is like a yellow sea. So gorgeous!
Yes, that would be a glorious sight to see.
I know it would, Gracie, but now it's polar bear time.
Go ahead, Jasmine. I don't know how we could have missed them last time.
I don't either because these guys are huge. They grow to be 8 feet long and weigh 1,500 pounds.
That is enormous. Polar bears are the biggest meat eaters on the planet.
And you know what? I know that everyone thinks they're a beautiful white, but they're not. So what color are they, do you ask?
Well, Jasmine, what color are they?
Well, hold on to your hats. Their fur is actually transparent or see-through. The fur also has a hollow core, and that reflects light. So this lets the polar bear blend in with their surroundings. This superpower comes in handy when hunting.
Yes, I agree it's an amazing trick, because just about everyone does think they're white. Besides that thick fur, polar bears also have a couple of other tricks to stay warm. First, they have a black skin under that fur to absorb the sun, kind of like their own solar heater, as well as a thick layer of fat called blubber.
Nice! Another superpower polar bears have is a super smeller nose. They use this sense to track down their favorite lunch, seals. They can sniff out a seal 10 miles away. Really cool, but probably not so much for the seals.
I do imagine the seals feel differently. Polar bears are also wonderful swimmers. Using their large webbed paws like paddles, they cruise along at up to 6 miles per hour. Sometimes they hunt by swimming underwater, but they may not be fast enough to catch a seal for lunch. So what do? They use those ice floes to help them out. They wait quietly by a seal's breathing hole, and when the seal comes up for a breath of air, snack time for polar bears. Now that we're polar bear experts, Jasmine, what other animal shall we explore?
I know, snowy owls, even though they're birds and not animals. Can you guess what color they are, Gracie?
This is a tough one. Let me think. White?
You are mostly right. They are white, but also kind of brown. The guys are whiter than the girls. As the boys get older, they get whiter, kind of like how people get white hair when they get older. The girls never become totally white. Sort of a brownish with darker markings. These big owls like to live in the tundra. Since there's no trees, Snowies will sit on the ground or on short posts looking for lunch. Their favorite food is lemmings, but they also like other small rodents like rabbits, as well as birds and fish.
Snowy owls are different from other owls, who we might call night owls.
What do you mean by that, Gracie? I thought owls were only out at night.
Most owls are, but snowy owls hunt during the day, usually at dusk or dawn. They are strong and fly quickly and close to the ground. Snowies could even knock over an adult.
Oh, I get it. So they are day owls instead. Hee hee hee.
I suppose they are. Once a snowy sees a delicious animal, they swoop down from the air, snatch it into their sharp claws or talons.
Snowies have great eyesight, but sometimes if their lunch is hiding under the snow, it uses its great hearing to zone in on it and grab it. Hello, lunch.
Excellent. Now why don't we finish up with those lemmings that snowy owls just love for lunch?
Sounds great. Lemmings are cute, small, furry rodents. Try to imagine a small, fuzzy guinea pig. Their thick fur is lovely and waterproof, too. They are very, very busy little guys. Lemmings love winter and don't hibernate. Instead, they dig under the snow to find food. And you know what? They're awake day and night, just taking little cat naps or lemming naps when they're tired. When lemmings aren't looking for food, they stay in their burrows underground, where they are safe from snowy owls and nice and warm.
My turn. Lemmings are probably best known for their traveling in large groups called migrations. Unfortunately, these migrations have often been shown with lemmings leaping off cliffs.
Gracie, that sounds gruesome.
It most certainly does, and is not true. Lemming families grow very quickly, and when there are too many of them for an area, they scout out a new spot. This is what they're doing when they travel, not looking to leap off cliffs. Unfortunately, sometimes when lemmings are on the move, they may come across a large body of water that's too wide for them to swim across, and some of the lemmings do drown as they try to swim it anyway. So sad. Even though we think of lemmings mostly in large groups, this rarely happens as lemmings enjoy being alone.
Now, just because they are a snowy owl's favorite snack and they're little doesn't mean they're helpless. When they're scared, they scream loudly, bare their sharp front teeth, and jump around. These sharp teeth are always growing. To keep them from getting too long, lemmings chew on tough foods and plants.
What great facts about these animals, Jasmine. While these are not all the animals that live here in the Arctic, I think we can say that we are Arctic animal experts. Now let's finish up with some polar bear jokes.
I am so ready. What do you call a polar bear in the jungle?
Hot?
No, lost.
I would say so. Now, what did the polar bear say when it slid into the icy water?
I know. Ice to meet you. My favorite fact was that lemmings scream loudly when they're scared. I wonder if it would hurt my ears. How about you, Gracie?
My favorite fact was that polar bears aren't white, but their fur is transparent and it makes it look white. How about you, friends? What was your favorite fact? Don't forget to tell someone you love.
That's right. And come back next time when we learn about some more animals that like the desert. But this time, it's the sandy desert. Bye now. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye, my dear friends. See you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining Jasmine and Gracie on their adventure today. Come back next week for the next one.
Hello everybody, it's Gwen here. If you want to know more about the places we visited, just go to our website, jasmineandgracie.podbean.com, and go to the sources page and you can find out all about the great places that we visited. See you next week. Bye-bye.